Welcome back to OC Talk Radio. This is a show many years in the making, but the time is perfect. From trauma to hope, a podcast about preventing trauma and healing lives with two really exceptional people, two healers today with us. We have from left to right, Dr. Estera Borcsa. Did I get it right? It's pronounced. It's right. Spelled Borks. It's spelled differently, but it's pronounced Borcsa.
You got it right.
We'll call her Dr. B. And Rima. Let me see, you can sure get it right. Nashashibi.
You got it right.
I got it right. We have two really luminaries in the room to light up the space here for us. And I'm going to let each of them introduce themselves to you and tell a little bit about it. Let's start from left to right under their pictures there. Dr. B, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
Awesome. Thank you. My name is Dr. Borcsa, short for Dr. B. I have started in the helping field as a young girl at 22 years old, fresh out of my master's program at USC. And I was really deeply impressed with wanting to understand the helping field and trauma and how trauma works. So I did the gamut of understanding the helping field. My youngest client was 3 years old. My oldest was 89. I really wanted to understand human behavior in the brain and how it works. And I got certified in everything possible. And basically what I came to was the fact that trauma is the same. It impacts how we feel about ourselves and how we view the world. And so healing those deep trauma wounds has been the journey I took my life on. And I really care about healing people and helping people get beyond trauma. And through the neuroscience way, by learning about our brain and learning how it works, I founded an organization called Teach, Train, Transform International.
Teach, Train, Transform. You're going through it so quickly here.
Sorry.
Teach, Train, Transform.
That's right.
Because that is all about it. You're teaching people techniques, training them how to use it, and then transforming. That's what we're going to talk a lot about in this
Transforming
show.
Lives.
Yes, transforming lives. Absolutely, because most of mental health is about understanding, labeling, diagnosing, but I think it's not enough to just process our trauma and understand it. We have to be able to get to the second and third stage of healing, which is really learning how to store our mental health, learn the proper tools on how to really heal our brain. Something I'm going to mention in our podcast soon is if you have a physical wound, it's a life and death situation, right? Yeah. But our emotional wounds are also a life and death situation. And it's not okay that we carry them for years and years. And some of the clients that Rima and I work with are about that, right? They've been in these stuck cycles of just hurt and pain. And so we want to help them get beyond that and heal those emotional wounds the same way we would heal a physical wound.
Powerful,
it becomes a scar.
Goal.
When you hit a scar, it doesn't hurt anymore. So that's what we want to teach people through this podcast is we got to turn our wounds to scars so it doesn't hurt anymore.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And let's bring in our second luminary here, Rima. Rima has, if you go to any event in town, you go to the World Affairs Council, you go to the SBDC, Small Business Development Expos, Rima's there. She's everywhere. You go, she's meeting Supervisor Janice Hahn today. Here she's talking with her. She talks to powerful people and appears at conferences everywhere. All advocates. She's been on the show numerous times, on our station here, rather. And she talks about the subjects that I still can't wrap my head around. Talking about child marriage, talking about the trauma that women still endure, not in third world countries, right here in our own backyard. So, Rima, introduce yourself. What do you do? And tell us a bit about you.
Thank you, Paul. We've been working on this now for a while. We're not going to say how many years, but for a while. And finally it happened, yeah?
Yeah.
It's like the World Cup. It only happens once every 4 years. Right?
You're so funny.
Hey, we're here now.
That's right.
Yes. So my name is Rima Nashashibi, and I'm founder and president of Global Hope 365. It's a 501c3 nonprofit whose goal is to end harmful practices towards women and girls, such as child marriage, human trafficking, and other forms of gender-based violence. And usually when I go speak, and we have done, so we're on the prevention side, and we do it through raising awareness, education, prevention to prevent future victims. Because that trauma will never leave them for the rest of their lives. And that's where the role of Dr. B comes in. So I want to prevent future victims. And we do that through presentations at schools, colleges, universities, because traffickers send peer recruiters into our middle schools and high schools, and not a lot of people know that.
I didn't know that. I still can't wrap my head around it. Here in affluent Orange County, there are predators preying on our children, not just the most vulnerable communities, in some of the most affluent communities. They are finding those who are feeling lost and needing someone attention and being seduced or pulled into
groomed.
this. Groomed.
We call it groomed. Yes, absolutely. And so we've done over 538 presentations since inceptions, and we personally interacted with over 770,000 people. Because as you mentioned, in Orange County, and these statistics are from the Orange County Human Trafficking Task Force, the most recent report, which was issued in 2025. And the one before that was issued in 2023. And right now, it's so urgent that we keep doing what we're doing, because minors are now 50% of the total number of the human trafficking victims in Orange County.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
They went up from 36 to 50%. So 538 presentations is not enough. We need to double and triple that. And
That's
we
right.
need to be in the schools. And that increase from 36 to 50% is due to sextortion. Do you know what sextortion is, Paul? Let me tell you.
I guess it's a good thing. I don't, but that's a bad thing because I stick my head in the
Yes.
sand like most of us.
It was a rhetorical question, Paul. She's going to answer it.
She's going to answer it anyway.
So what happens, sextortion is when a young adult, a teen or a young adult, send a nude picture of
yes.
themselves to someone else, and there's now crime syndicates that are involved in this because it's very lucrative financially. And so what they do, in some cases, that person on the other side, and what the teen sees is a young person that is of the opposite sex on the other side.
Cute young girl if you're a boy or
yes,
whatever. Yeah.
talking to them and everything. And sometimes they send them nude pictures of themselves first and ask them to send nude pictures of themselves, our victims. And so they send it, and within an hour or two, then they get financially extorted or lured into sex trafficking or both. And some of these teens...
Because what do they say? We're going to tell your parents. Guess what? We have this picture now. Sorry.
Are you doing the show or am I?
I'm just guessing. I'm trying to get it all in a half an hour here. I didn't know we were going to be laughing so much during this show.
And so some of these teens have committed suicide because they couldn't pay anymore that financial extortion. And so they were so ashamed to tell their parents that they elected to commit suicide instead. So we do presentations for the parents, and we say, here's the facts, here's the red flags, somebody may be trafficked. And we do presentations for the teens and young adults, and we say, here's the facts, here's the red flags, don't become a victim. But what we also urge all parents who are listening and during our presentations and say, please have that conversation with your children. You can't tell them don't use the internet because that doesn't make sense. But what you tell them is that there's dangers online, just like there's dangers when we say stranger danger out in the park. There's dangers online, and they groom and all that. And if, God forbid, something happens, feel free to come to me. There'll be no shaming nor blaming, because those teens need to know that nobody's going to shame them, nobody's going to blame them, that they have a safe adult that they can confide in.
So we're going to talk about those kind of topics, folks. Get ready. This is a rough ride here.
It's gonna happen.
It's going to happen. But the positive thing of this show, the excitement for me about this show, is not only that we get these things out in the open, because no, we don't want to admit it as parents or grandparents that this stuff's happening around in our community, or sex trafficking, child marriage, on and on. So yes, we need prevention. Yes, we need awareness. But I want to know there's some hope. Because, you know what, I could have been stupid enough like that when I was 12 or 13. Some cute girl sends me a picture. I might be tempted to say, okay, hey, wow, boy, she really likes me. And then all of a sudden, I'm being extorted here and told I got to make more pictures or pay money, the whole world's going to know. And boy, would I have been traumatized. Yeah. So the hope is that, for me, we can not just prevent these things, but we can offer people a way to move past them.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you know, the thing that also most people don't know, including some of our elected officials, is that child marriage is happening right here in the States. People think it's in third world countries and that it's not legal in the States. When we first started, and our anonymous donor is here with us today. I'm so excited that she's
Off camera,
here.
staying anonymous here.
Yes, we thank her so much
We're
for
so
making
grateful.
this podcast possible. And thank you for being so patient with us, our anonymous donor, which allow us to do the things that we do in order to prevent future victims. But when we first started, child marriage was still legal, Dr. B, in 48 out of the 50 states.
Wow.
Now it's legal in 33 out of the 50 states. But where do you
Amazing.
think California is? That's a question for you and the audience.
Luckily, I work with you, so I know the.
But you would never think.
We're still fighting to get California, but surprisingly, they're not.
There's zero minimum age in California and 2 other states.
What? I mean, like with the parents, if they say okay, then you could get married at 9 or 12? Or...
All what you need is parental consent / coercion and judicial approval.
Wow.
And all the survivors we worked with from California, nobody has questioned the fact that she's 13 and he's 38. Nobody questioned the fact that she's 14 and he's 40. Or she's 16 and he's 26. And we never kept tabs or statistics of minors getting married until Senate Bill 273 passed by Senator Jerry Hill from Northern California. He wanted to end child marriage under 18, no exceptions in California, but it failed. And the reason he introduced it is a constituent of his, a high schooler, came in and she said, "My friend is getting married. I didn't think children can get married in California. We're a very progressive state. How can that happen?" And unfortunately, it failed. And there has been another attempt.
I'm sure not today, but in future episodes, you'll tell us why and how and the fight here. I want to switch back to Dr. B for a second. So in your practice, you said from 9 to 90 or some startling figure here. What kind of traumas do you see experienced in life? Are they, I suspect they're not all severe, not severe, I don't know what this is, shocking ones like child marriage or trafficking, maybe. It's probably more, I'm still dealing with my parents who put me down my whole life and I can't get past that or something, or abused me or hit me. Yeah.
That's exactly the trauma and exactly what Rima was talking about, what I want to touch on. Those vulnerable children that end up in sextortion, they're usually a vulnerable population, usually the ones that have a harder time at home, that have more stricter parents. Sometimes we don't realize what trauma actually is. Right now, we talk about trauma in different categories of abuse. But actually, the real traumas are sometimes the things that we don't get at home, that the parents don't do, which is like providing that safe place where the parent can come to them. In the circle of security framework, one of the components are welcome my coming to you. When children feel safe enough to go to their parents with these type of difficult situations, they don't end up in those type of situations like sextortion. And so when I first came in the field, I was in a training and they were talking about the suicide rates and the different statistics with foster youth. Oh. And I had to run out of that training and I was profusely crying in the hallway. And I was just like, why? Why, God? Like, how could these vulnerable young people and foster youth who already had such a hard life be dealing with these horrible things? Like, why is that? And when I went back into the training and kind of collected myself, the answer was so there and so straightforward. It's the predators smell the vulnerability. Right, and so the vulnerable, when that's
a
the
horrible
trauma.
image. That's like an animal preying on a helpless sheep.
Yeah, and the vulnerability starts really young because trauma impacts the way we feel about ourselves and the way we view the world. And so those small things that happen in childhood, having a parent who's highly anxious, having family in the home that's going through a difficult situation, financial issues, the parent is working a lot. There's all of these different things that make children vulnerable and make them question themselves and how they feel about themselves which starts the impact of trauma. And so then these type of situations come up because they're looking for attention, for validation. They're looking for a sense of belonging. And so when these predators offer these things, that's how it comes about. So
I think that's a key component, and I'm sure you'll talk about it more in future episodes, because it's one thing to say there are predators in our community and we need to call them out. We need to be aware of them. We need to warn our children about them, as Rima's saying here. This stuff is real and it's happening. We can't bury ourselves in the sand and prevent it, or pretend it's not out there. But at the same time, we tend to think, I do, that my kids are good. They're in a good neighborhood. They're a good family. They're somehow immune. I've immunized them from the stuff. So even were they to stumble across it, they would be smart enough to avoid it. They wouldn't be drawn to it. And yet we know that's not true.
Yeah.
One of the challenges, too, is that our kids and young adults post things on social media.
Oh.
They post their emotions.
Their life.
And yes, and that's where the traffickers come in. Yeah, they go to social media and they look for these young adults and teens who are posting such things on social media. My parents like my siblings more, or other things in there. And speaking of foster kids, I was speaking with a deputy attorney general at one time. She used to represent foster kids. And she said the traffickers will be outside the foster home waiting for the foster kids. But traffickers don't discriminate.
They don't.
Because they don't care if your father and mother are a doctor or a lawyer or you're financially insecure. To them, you're a product that they keep selling over and over again. So they're an equal opportunity abuser, right?
Correct.
And trafficker. So we just need to be aware and not fall into the myth that it only happens
to somebody else.
Yes, to somebody else.
Not in my backyard. It's the same thing with the homelessness discussion,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
It's not happening to my family, not in my family. And that deep shame keeps people from being unaware, which is why the work that you're doing at Global Hope 365 is so important, because it starts with prevention and awareness, and then we also need to be able to understand and heal the traumas underneath so that people come out of it, that they understand, and it doesn't happen to the next person, right?
Do you have different...
Because the healing can prevent them from becoming victims if we can catch it early on. Or it will help once they become a victim, but we prefer to do it before.
Prevention.
Yes.
What I was going to try and interject is, Dr. B, do you have... Rima's going to be a tough one to talk through here. I can tell this here. She's determined. And glad for her, because many people are like, okay, enough. Stop talking. I've heard all this stuff. And she just keeps going on this stuff here.
Hey, you're going to want to listen into this podcast. It's going to be interesting.
There's going to be some trauma going on the show here.
You guys are going to have to watch how I mediate Paul and Rima.
It's going to be brutal. But I know Rima, and she's a fighter. What I was getting to is, Dr. B, do you just use standard techniques, or have you pioneered anything else that...
Oh, has she pioneered?
That's
She
what I
even got an award. So tell us all about it, Doctor.
So after I kind of went on that journey of seeing clients from 3 to 89 and really understanding, I got certified in every treatment modality there is, all the way up to MDR. And what I realized is we fall short, because most of the trauma work right now focuses on the events and situations that happen to us and not the people. And so I call that the skeletons in the closet of our mind. And I developed this...
Say that again. You said that so quickly here.
The skeletons in the closet of our mind. So that's an exercise I developed.
The skeletons in the closet.
It sounds like a song. The skeletons.
Dealing with all the people who have wronged and hurt us, because most of our trauma are connected to people, not even events and situations.
Yeah.
When we try to use certain treatment modalities to do it around events and situations, there's a million situations in an abusive relationships, right? So how can you sum up what happened in 30 years with someone into different memories? The brain doesn't work that way, but it's connected to the people who wronged and hurt us. So I developed something called neuro memory modification trauma therapy, where we go back and modify those memories of the past around the people who have wronged and hurt us, and clear our hearts of the bitterness, of the resentment, of the pain, of the hurt. And that is giving people complete tremendous just breakthrough. My old boss started charging people $800 an hour to see me.
What?
Because she realized how valuable it was and people were willing to pay for it. So when I found out, I obviously left, but it taught me something interesting.
Why did you leave, Dr. B?
Because I don't like to extort my clients for money.
Yeah.
And I actually want them to heal. But so it's so amazing though, because it is helping people heal, and I'm really excited and nervous and proud of it. And I hope that I'm at the beginning stages of the research. So if there's anyone out there that wants to join my research team or wants to be a collaborator, Global Hope 365 is a collaborator already on that research, and we're going to be starting the work soon. So I'm really excited about it. It's really helping people break through and let go. And I've had clients who haven't spoken to a mother or sister or whoever for 20 plus years, and now they can have them over for dinner, and they realize, they say, I've learned how to properly do what you said, which is break apart other people's brokenness from me. Because in the act of trauma, we always say something to ourselves when someone hurt us. So we basically break that apart and learn how to separate from it.
Because we
I
say,
see.
your parents got divorced, it's my fault.
That's right.
Or things like that. Or it must have been me. They couldn't, I'm not lovable.
How can I sign up, Dr. B?
Yeah, because who doesn't? I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah, who doesn't?
I don't picture myself as having had a traumatic life. In fact, in some ways, it was a Leave It to Beaver life
Hey.
in suburbia. And yet, as I delved into it, I've gone through dark periods of depression and other things here, and I felt bad about it because it's like I wasn't trafficked, but my mother and I had conflicts, my dad and I had conflicts, and it made me feel I'm carrying this baggage around my whole life here, feeling about something about myself. I can't, or I'm not good, or that, or whatever.
It's a human race problem, Paul.
Yeah,
and
good
we have
people
to,
with good intentions did bad things that harmed me.
and you have to reprogram that in your mind and
Exactly.
rewire it. So I always, it's a human race thing. I believe everyone who's an adult and has a fully functioning brain, and 20-somethings for men, runs
Oh, ouch. Directed to Dr. B.
Look, it is not my fault women develop faster, okay? We're the superior race, okay? Just
Yeah.
saying.
Well,
But anyways,
I'd be foolish to challenge that in this room here today.
but I will say everyone who's a fully functioning adult, run to therapy, the good therapy, 20% that's good, and retranscribe your whole childhood, right? Make sure you detach from those things you might have said to yourself when you didn't have logic and reason. When we're children,
Yes.
those parts of our brain are not even fully developed, right? So we need to be able to do it as adults and go back and clear it so it's not impacting the rest of our life.
And clearing doesn't mean forget it. Is it
Nope.
forgiving it? Is it reframing it? How,
Retranscribing. And so you have to be able to say what was truth and what was a lie. What they did to me might have been truth. What I said to myself in the process, that was a lie. And I have a lot of client stories we're going to bring in here. We'll have some
That's what I'm
live
hoping.
clients come.
Absolutely. We're going to have survivors here as guests. We're going to have others who represent survivors. There's a lot of things going on that most people don't know about.
Yeah.
And so
and don't know
we
what
need
to deal
peel
with. Don't know
that
what to do if
onion.
it happens. Yeah, that's
right.
right.
Yeah.
So, guys, get ready because we're going to shake the walls of the OC Talk Radio here.
We already have.
Woo!
I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk anymore after today here.
Look, Paul, if you're not careful, we're going to put you in timeout.
Yeah. You laughed this morning. I have a grandson, the two grandchildren that live with me. My daughter and I moved in a year ago, and her husband. And this morning as I'm coming over here, he says, "Where are you going, Grandpa?" I said, "I'm going to do this new show. I'm pretty excited about it." He said, and I said something to him about, "You better have your room clean." He said, "You're in timeout." I said, "I can't go?" "Oh, you can go to work, but when you come home, you're in timeout."
There you go. That's what Rima's going to do to you. Be careful.
Rima is a force of nature. Trust me. And I sense that Dr. B, I don't know you as well, but I sense that you can hold her. You seem a little more cheerful and laid back. And we're going to make sure that together you two give us the yin and the yang of from trauma to hope. That's the journey that we're all on. And whether it's a little trauma that we've blown into a big trauma or it really was a big trauma, there is hope. And that's the key that I want to leave people with here today. How do they reach both of you? Dr. B, let's start with you first. How do they reach you if they want to find out more about your work, come schedule to see you, join one of your whatever research groups, any of that stuff. Yeah,
absolutely. So many ways to get involved with Teach, Train, Transform. We have workshops. I have a free book club. I have so many different free services to really learn. You can join, we have an intensive outpatient program. You can come to groups, do individuals with me and my team.
And the website is?
It is esteraborcsa.com.
Let's
That's
spell
the one
that.
I use. EsteraBorcsa.com. esteraborcsa.com. Or you can find us on most social media platforms at Teach, Train, Transform.
Teach, Train, Transform. And now, the one we've been waiting for, Rima. Everybody in the community knows your site, but give it to us one more time.
So it's globalhope365.org. And you'll have information there about child marriage and how it's still legal in the U.S. and not in third world countries, and how we've been able to pass resolutions in California in various cities and counties so we can urge Sacramento to pass a law that says no child marriage under 18, no exception, and information about human trafficking, including the myth that most people think that victims of human trafficking are not U.S. citizens, when 85 to 90% are U.S. citizens.
Wow.
And so, again, it's globalhope365.org.
And you do speaking throughout the community, and you can come and talk to schools and other
Yes,
community
absolutely,
groups and
yes.
whatnot.
And
I know you
can
do a lot of
reach-
advocacy, meeting with politicians all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they can find out more about the facts and the work that you do through that site.
Yes, and they can also email me at L as in Larry, A at globalhope365.org. That's not me, of course, but it's my assistant. I'm not going incognito on
I was going to
email.
say, yeah, what do you got, an alter ego or something?
Yeah, but again, I want to thank our anonymous donor who's in the room that made this happen.
We were going
And-
to thank her today, and she said, no, it's not about me. It's about the work. So
Yes,
I said, okay, I
yes.
appreciate that perspective here. It's about finally giving voice to the voiceless and finally giving hope to the hopeless, if we can summarize it that way here.
Because we feel that we can reach more people by doing this podcast. Because when I go to schools, colleges, and universities, you're presenting to a class, right? Let's say 33, 60. But with this, we're hoping to raise awareness among many people about the human trafficking that's hidden in plain sight, and it doesn't happen to the other.
And the steps they can take
Yes,
to deal
to prevent.
with these traumas.
Yes.
To prevent and trauma. All right, we're going to do this a couple of times a month. We hope you'll tune in. We're going to do this on
On the
Tuesdays,
first?
on the first and third Tuesday of every month. Starting today was just welcome to OC and a little lighthearted look at what we're looking to be a very
Because it's a
serious
heavy topic,
It's a heavy
yes.
topic. You got to find ways to lighten it a little bit here
right.
and do it in a way that people aren't overwhelmed listening to it here. So that's what we specialize in here. We talk about real deals. We're Orange County's only community conversation. We're proud to have you with us here today. So thanks.
And
for
we're at
joining us.
UCI.
Yeah, UCI's will Beal Applied Innovation. We'll talk about that in a second. All right. Any final thoughts, Dr. B?
Any questions?
Or questions?
Do we have questions?
We don't have any questions in, I don't see, but I'm sure I haven't been really paying attention. I know we had people calling in early saying, how are I going to get hold of this? I want to listen to this thing here. So I hope everybody found it live, and they will learn to find where it is later. There'll be video versions on YouTube.
And nobody has called you, Paul, right?
Not that I've seen, no, exactly. I think they were afraid to jump in the conversation and see what you do. Anybody that speaks up, they're ready to call, and they got slapped down fast here. All right, thanks for joining us, guys. Here, we look forward to the next one in a couple weeks here.
Thank you so much.
All right, what a great start to a great conversation here. From Trauma to Hope, a podcast about preventing trauma and healing lives, right here on Orange County's only community radio station, OCTalkRadio, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beal Applied Innovation Center.